want to discuss sort of other perception to Jesus, I guess you'd say, which is like a shadow form, where there's not really the devil and Satan, but rather that appears that way off the shadow of God, to deny God, to turn your back on God. Then you start seeing these shadows of God, these more evil, wrathful seeming forms that come out. The baptism with fire, casting Satan out with Satan, things like that. So what I think is that there's not really a Satan as much as there is the ego, which can take us in the direction of a devil, drunk-hearted, exaltation, super empowerment, messiah complex, megalomania, all that. All that is like left-hand path to add in linear time. You add knowledge, energy to the ego, success, good. You don't want to add, you want to subtract and go backwards. Everything is pretty much like backwards from what the human eye sees in linear time. And that's something that's starting to be talked about today in society, the culture. But that's something I've been pushing for a long time. That's why I went with nothing as opposed to everything or derivatives of the I am, because the nothing seems like the lowest nothing, but it's actually the highest and greatest thing there is. Without the nothing, there'd be no spaces here for music or different people, variations. So, if we deny all that, then we start seeing what looks like a trickster off the reflection of, say, denying Jesus, or whatever name your prophet is. If he comes and you're like, no, you're stupid, you're wrong, you're going to catch his shadow and reflection. Especially if you try to stand up between that person and God, you're going to get smited down every time. That's just a foolish thing to do. So you don't want to do power struggles with those types. There's a way to test them and feel them out without doing power struggles. There's a way to encourage that energy and frequency in people without doing power struggles out of like insecurity, envy, or jealousy, whatever you have. And that's one of the reasons that I do play the way I do when I do play like devil's advocate, because I'm not jealous or envious of any prophet or God or Jesus, because I don't compare myself to them. They have their places, which is not my place. I'm just a human, had some experiences, came a long way over the years, and I do my thing like anyone else. But it's not like a real serious do or die for me. Whereas like the ego, when the ego's fed, things become real competitive. We become real possessed. All this cultural shift ideas, a lot of people are real possessed by them. That's going to start and generate the whole same thing that we do have already, which is exploitation, postmodernism, Marxism, all that other shit. Which is, a lot of it's just boogeymen, fear-mongering. But, if you think about it, God or Jesus or some being like that comes down to earth, they're going to cast a shadow. If you're competitive, insecure, if you put emphasis on power and knowledge and things like that, that being's gonna wipe the floor with you. Just gonna laugh at you. Like, dude, you really don't get it. And we don't, because we're so attuned in a different mindset that's not of the spirit and soul. We're more like a primitive kind of physical plane physics mindset, and you have to do the work and time to get out of that, or you'll be stuck in that. And when you're stuck in that, that's when you see like the shadow of Jesus, or the evil in God, or what we say is evil in God. Um, and we have to make amends with that in ourselves, to stop like judging that and just let go of everything of that which is the past, and just take a leap of faith. Because if you're waiting, you're comparing and competing, you think you need more competition, more knowledge, more time, you're never going to be ready. And it's scary to just say, I'm ready now. Why not? But once you do that and take that leap, then you start realizing that you're more than capable of doing that. And you'll find that you can do things that you knew you could do, but you always just kind of tried not to, because it was like, well, nobody told me to, so I didn't know if that was right. You'll kind of develop like a leadership skill where you won't wait on all that. You'll have confidence in yourself. And you'll be able to pick things up a lot quicker. It's less energy, less time to do things this way, where, what I'm explaining on these videos, where we create a gravity rather than go out and seek and try to get everyone to like us or give us or validate or participate. We just kind of, do a different way, which is backwards and upside down to the norms. And, that's just lead by example, create a gravity. And there's ways to maintain that gravity, and there's ways to sabotage it. And, the effects of karma and stuff come into play there, which is like a inertia, equal and opposite. It's just like weather patterns, or suction. When you pull something out and the suction, it sucks things in. That's like the karma, that backdraft type effect. But yeah, I mean, a lot of what we know is really just backwards. And Jonathan Bagot, Jordan Peterson, talking about Derrida and this backwards idea. That's what they're talking about. They steal everything off me. They wouldn't have anything to talk about if I wasn't rambling.